foundation of this book. You know, these recipes that come together easily, that can be kind of mixed and matched. And so I chose 4 totally different things. One is the lemon bars because they're so insanely delicious. I wanted to show you, and then I'm going to send them away with Charlie today. So I hope I don't eat the whole pan. The no sugar thing, I kind of fell off. Not hard, but I fell off. And then I'm going to do this grilled whole fish with citrus garlic sauce because, like, I still think whole fish is intimidating for most people, right? Even though it's really hard to mess up when you buy a whole fish. Hi, Chris. And you cook it with the bone in because the bone retains the flavor and the moisture. And so if you've always wanted to do it, I'm going to show you how it's hard to mess up. And then I'm just doing a really simple sauce on it, this citrus garlic sauce. And the thing that's funny is that I think I found, maybe I didn't find a mistake. I think I found a mistake in the recipe. It's a very small one. Let's see. It's one word. It says to rewarm the sauce. And honestly, we're warming it for the first time. Isn't that funny? Like I reread and reread this book so many times, but there's a small little error. So we're going to do this, and then we're going to do another version of my green beans that are beloved because they're so good for you and they're so easy to make. They look fancy. But the other thing is you can saute these up. Where are they? Did I go past? No, they've got to be right here. You can saute these and let them sit at room temp, and they'll be absolutely delicious. And then we have the orecchiette with broccoli and garlic and Parmigiano Reggiano, or just grated Parmesan cheese. And so it's like a big feast, right? So it's gonna be fun. So here's how we're gonna do it. We're gonna do the lemon bars first. I've already baked the crust because one of the most important things with this recipe is that you let the crust cool first. Otherwise, the lemon mixture blends in with the crust and you don't have that nice separation between like the baked lemon curd and the crust itself. And then we're going to go into the fish and get the fish in the oven. And then while we do that, we'll work on that sauce for it. And then the green beans are already blanched, so that's going to come together quickly. And I think I've already taught this recipe or a version of it. And then I'll boil the water for the pasta while we make the broccoli part of it, okay? Lori, I know, and they'll still taste good, but they're just like a big mishmash, right? So we're going to skip that today, and we're going to do it the right way. So if you're using your book, let's go to page 204. You guys, I wish I didn't love them so much. I'm also, by the way, if you're cooking along, I think most of us now, you guys just watch as I cook and you can ask me questions, right? But if you are cooking along on any of this, please just stop me. I can see your comments coming in and I'm happy to answer questions in live time, or, you know, as I put these in the oven, I'll answer questions for you too. But so let me just get this started and then I'll tell you what I've been listening to that is kind of interesting. Okay, I have 2 whisks. And I think I used both of them. Oh, here it is. Let me just get myself a clean towel as well to get started. Okay, here we go, friends. Okay, so let's move this camera down so you can see what I've done. And I'm going to show you the crust first. I posted a picture on Instagram already today because all you do is you take some flour, gluten-free if you want. It works great in here. Some almond flour, some confectioner's sugar, pinch of salt, and then you take, this is why I call it barely better for you lemon bars. You take 3 sticks of butter, okay? But that's for this whole pan, right? So if you divide this into like 36 pieces or 24 pieces, you realize it's a lot better. That's 24 tablespoons actually of butter. So it's a lot of butter. And you can either use your hands to kind of mix it together and break up the butter, but I put it in the KitchenAid mixer with the whisk on it on low speed, and it just broke up the butter enough into pieces that when I pinched it together with my fingers, it'll hold together, and then you let go, and it can form clumps, right? So anytime you pinch it together, that butter brings it all together into a little ball. So I took that and I just poured it into this pan, and then I took the bottom of this glass and I just pressed it in, right? So it's even. And what I tried to do is create a little moat up the sides. I didn't do a very good job, honestly. I should have put more up around the sides to start and less in the middle, because then that'll also prevent the lemon curd from falling over and getting underneath. It happens. They're messy. They're ooey gooey. Don't sweat it. If I were trying to do a professional job, I would most definitely try to create a moat by making the crust go higher up on the sides and pushing it up into the corners, okay? So here's my crust. I baked it at 350 for about 30 minutes, just till it's light golden brown. It's like shortbread, okay? So it's got a lot of sugar in it, the confectioner sugar, but lots of butter, so it breaks apart and it's flaky. Then I have got a couple tablespoons, 3 tablespoons of flour, I think 2 cups of sugar, or a cup and a half, 2 1/4 cups. Wow. This is why they really are barely better for you. The almond flour is the only thing that makes these barely better for you. I've got my lemon zest. I put the kosher salt in already. And so I'm just going to whisk these together and to combine, right? We want to get all of these things in. And then I'm going to add my lemon juice to it. And I squeezed the lemon juice, 3/4 cups of lemon juice. And that says about 3 lemons in the book. I usually do get about a 1/4 cup of juice out of each lemon, but those are like juicy in season lemons, okay? So if you get kind of like dry lemons or small lemons, you'll need more than that. I think I ended up juicing about 5 today because they weren't the best. Okay, I'm just trying to get a little, I don't know what that is. I got it, a piece of dirt or something in my lemon juice. Okay, so away it goes. And I'm just gonna whisk all of this in. This bowl is smaller than I should be using, but that's, you know how I roll. Loose and fast some days. It's one of those days. And, you know, I am not great about substituting when I bake. The only thing I usually substitute for is gluten-free flour. However, I do know people who use flaxseed. I've heard that flaxseed is amazing, and a lot of times you'll see on packaging for flaxseed, you can use it for egg substitute and applesauce. And I know that plums, pureed plums, work really well too. So all of those things can work to help bind things together. Okay, now I'm going to add my eggs, 6 eggs, one at a time. And I'm just going to kind of break them up, break the yolk up. I'll put in 2 more to get started. But let's break those yolks, and then we're just going to keep whisking until it all starts to look the same, right? If it's not completely homogenized, you want to just keep whisking until you can't see any streaks of yolks or whites anymore, because you don't want it to cook like, you don't want the eggs to be separate in this mixture so they cook like little pieces of scrambled eggs in the rest of it. That would be kind of strange, right? Chunks of scrambled eggs inside our lemon bar filling. Why do they call it filling when it's actually a topping? I don't know. Filling, I guess it would be typically like in a donut or a baked good. That would be amazing. Can you see how this is coming together? And it's homogeneous. Let's add another. We're going to break that yolk. The other thing you could do certainly is break the yolks first and whisk these a little bit before you put them in one by one. Either way is fine. This is literally my version of drugs. And I'm not kidding. I'm listening to Rebel Wilson's memoir on Audible, and I don't know if you guys follow her, she's a great comedic actress, and she's recently lost weight and she had a baby, and she's telling the story how when she went in to get her eggs harvested, how the doctor was like, you know, if you weren't morbidly obese, you'd have a better chance of having your eggs harvested and having healthy embryos. And she had no idea that that her weight was affecting her that much. And so she made a really conscious effort to lose weight, right? But in the book, she talks a lot about how chocolate in particular, but sweets are her drug, and they always have been her drug of choice, and what it's been like to learn how to moderate that. It's really interesting too, because she talks about the fact that comedians typically have something funny about them. They're like tall or short or overweight or have some strange character. And so when she told her agent she was losing weight, they're like, you're basically giving up your career. And she said, well, I want to have a family, so I'm going to do that. And luckily, that hasn't been the case. But it's really interesting how we view our body ideals and and what's right for ourselves, right? But I can relate to the sugar thing, because if I start eating these today, or if I let myself just hang out with the pan, you guys, the whole thing would be gone. No joke. Okay, so I'm going to pour this in, and you're going to notice some of it might spill over onto the outside of my little moat. We're just going to live with that. And it's going to puff up a little bit too, the filling. And so, but the most important part was that the crust was cooled. So it's also not gonna start baking on the crust before the top part does, right? Because then you get kind of like a weird texture between it as well. So I'm gonna slowly and very carefully, I'm gonna open my oven first, and then I'm gonna put these in the oven, and I'll be right back. They go in at 350, I believe. I'll double check my recipe. It's okay if it spills over the sides a little bit, okay? We won't freak out. And there's a lip on my oven rack, and so it's actually definitely going to spill. In terms of like going over the edge of the crust, I can see that it just did that. And my rack in here isn't even, so hold on. Give me 1 minute, guys. I gotta fix this. I really botched it. Okay, let's see here. There you go. There we go. Are we good? Yeah, they're kind of at a slight angle. Wonder why that is. Is it that pan? It might be that rack. Oh, you know what I think? I'll explain when I come out. Ouchie mama. I see what's happened. The racks in my oven are uneven. I'm going to set this for like 15 minutes. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a look at the recipe because, let me explain, okay. Oops, sorry about that. Okay, so it says, pour the filling, bake until the filling is set and looks slightly dry on top, 20 to 25 minutes. You can actually let that go longer if we need it to, okay? And then we can sprinkle some confectioner sugar over the top if we'd like. But I'm going to turn the pan in the oven because the racks, there are racks in my oven that are like, it's like one big piece of metal with 3 rows, and they're screwed into the sides of the oven. And I can see it's like jogged a little bit. So these aren't perfectly flat. So my filling just went, and it's probably going over the cracks of the crust. And then I'm going to move it back, and it's going to do the same thing. But they're still going to taste delicious, and we're not going to sweat it too much, okay? And I have that foil underneath it as well. And so the hope is that any filling that goes over the edges too much actually spills underneath the whole thing, and you'll be fine. So they're going to taste delicious. And all we want to do is try to make sure that that crust is cool so that the curd sets really nicely on top. Excuse me 1 second. This is the only thing I needed to handle today too. And so while this happens, we're going to transition into our next recipe. My son, you know, typically what happens around here is that for their prom or ball or whatever, somebody hosts pictures at someone's house and all these people show up and the parents show up and they take pictures and it's like a pre-party, right? And so they're not doing that this year. And so I was trying to find out where it was happening without bugging the people or find out who the hosts were and see if that was appropriate. It turns out the parents aren't invited, and that's just fine by me. I'll get pictures of him here at home. So anyhow, back to cooking. Okay, so we're going to let those lemon bars do their thing. And after 15 minutes, I'm going to turn the pan halfway just to try to balance them out a little bit, okay? And in the meantime, let's make this citrus garlic sauce for the fish. And I'm going to get the fish out. But what I'm going to try to do is make that sauce first because we're going to need the oven for the fish anyhow. So then we'll roast the fish. So I'm going to get all these delicious ingredients for my citrus garlic sauce. And I should have most of them over here. I've got, I put my olive oil right here. I'm going to need my glasses all the time, y'all, friends. I've got my olive oil, grated lemon zest, and I'm going to do this directly in a pan to warm it up afterwards. Pretty smart. Sometimes, you guys, sometimes I get to thinking. I need garlic. I need olive oil, lemon zest, lemon juice, parsley. Today I'm going to use, I have parsley in the fridge, so I'll get some too. But I have mint. It calls for mint or parsley. I've got currants. I think I'm out of capers. I've got garlic and then salt and pepper. So let me show you how easy this is going to be and why, once again, I love these recipes where if you're missing something, don't even worry about it, right? I just want to make sure that it instructs me to put it all in first. Okay. 1/4 cup of extra virgin olive oil. Look what I've got. I'm just putting this directly into a saucepan. 1/4 cup is 4 tablespoons. I'm just eyeballing this. The coolest thing about this recipe is that this stuff is just going to go directly over the fish, and it's going to be stunning, you guys. I just want my zester, which I've already used today. Here it is. It's going to be stunning, and it's so dang simple. Okay, so I'm going to just put all of these ingredients into this pan. Let me move the camera down for you. And by the way, as always, if you have any questions, holler. I'm going to just zest the lemon directly into here. I think you can never have enough lemon zest or lime zest or whatever zest you're using. So I'm going to get liberal. Oh, I know, Lori. I'm with you. Mine have changed really dramatically over the past year. I went from being able to just like squint when I was reading something small to not being able to see it. And I'm that person who pulls it like 2 feet away from their face, right? So it's time. Like I can read my book right now because it's over there, but if I bring it up to my face, no way. I need bifocals too, you know, like when I'm out, I need to be able to have them on all the time. I'm really going for it with the lemon zest here, folks. And then it calls for a tablespoon of fresh lemon juice. That's not much at all. But I'm going to treat this like I treat my limes, right? So instead of cutting it through the middle where you're definitely going to get seeds, I'm going to do a little lemon cheek, and we're going to cut down on it. And see how you can see those seeds? I'm just going to take them right out. Okay, and squeeze it directly into my saucepan. I want more lemon than that. I'm going to do that one more time. In fact, I'm going to do the whole lemon because you know how I feel. Let me get my compost. It's fun to switch up the angle, huh? Kind of nice. Okay, and then it'll be a good day when I have like a camera person. Oh, and by the way, in our new cooking school, we're building in cameras to live stream classes. It's going to be amazing. I can't wait. And so anything that I do in person, we'll be able to live stream. We won't live stream every class, but we'll have the capability. So it's going to be so professional. I see a couple seeds flew in here. We're not going to sweat it. We're just going to fish them out because I'm a professional like that. Oop. Where'd it go? Did it go back in or did I throw it over the side? I'm only cooking for myself, so you can tell I'm not exactly stressed about the final results. Okay. Got that taken care of. Next up, I've got fresh mint or parsley. I'm going for the mint today. And then I've got currants. I don't think I have any capers, but that's not going to be the end of the world. We're going to just deal with it. How much mint? 2 tablespoons? Oh, yeah. Of course, I like more of all the things that are clean and fresh. So whether it's herbs or citrus, I'm usually adding more than I even call for because I'm kind of obsessed. What did I make the other night? Oh, I'll share it on the website. I wrote it up. I shared it on Instagram. I was making some vinaigrettes for Nama, the juicer company I do work for. And I made an avocado vinaigrette, you guys. Oh my gosh, it was so good. It was creamy, but I used lemon juice, avocado, a little bit of Greek yogurt or kefir if you want, garlic, water, and a ton of herbs. And oh my, it was so delicious. I was kind of impressed with myself. Get a knife. All of my knives need sharpening. I sound like a broken record, don't I? But I'm just gonna like, it just says chopped. Yeah. I'm just gonna kind of roughly chop it. It's gonna kind of wilt a little bit more when we warm it up. And then I'm gonna look for capers in my pantry. But if I don't have any, the thing I love about capers is they give you that little like bite, right? So you get that little salty bite and it's a textural thing. I do know a lot of people who do not like capers. So if you don't like them, you don't have to use them. You can just leave them out. You could add a little Dijon mustard to this if you want another like level of tang. Let me get the let me get the currants and I'll look for some capers as well. I have a feeling they're gone, so I could be wrong. You never know. Oh, you know what I could put in it? Hold up. I might surprise you all. Because I don't have capers, I don't think. But I know I have currants. I just wander around this pantry of mine. Blame it on the kids. They come home and suddenly I can't find anything. Where did they go? Oh, here they are. They're right in front of my face where they're supposed to be. Let me double check for capers. It looks like a no. Hard no on the caper situation. Okay. You know what I could use if I wanted to? The smallest amount of preserved lemon. So I've already got the acid in here, right? But these are salty, like capers, and I could use them interchangeably. And so I might do that. We're going to wait and see what it tastes like. So I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of dried currants. And you guys, I use these such a small amount that I just, they haven't gone moldy on me, but I've had these for probably a year. I don't know if that's good or bad. Okay, so 3 tablespoons. You don't need that much. They're very high in sugar. It's probably 2 tablespoons. I'm just going to let them kind of sit in the lemon juice and the olive oil and plump up. And then we're going to take some garlic. And with our zester, I mean, you know how I'm always talking about using the microplane or a zester to put the garlic in? Let's try it. And when you do it this finely, you don't really need to cook it. It just kind of melts in. This to me is like the perfect clove of garlic because can you see it's like dry enough to peel this straight off, and these cloves are big. Oh, it's just delightful. Hopefully there's no mildew in it. 2 cloves. Look at them. They're big. They're like perfect. Why am I obsessed with them? They're just great. Do you hear that crack? That is so cool. That's just the skin. Yep. Came flying out at me. So, you know what? Let me put my ingredients back on the ingredient sheet. That would be the responsible thing to do. Okay, so watch this, guys. What you want is to have a clove that's big enough to hold in your hand so you can put it across the microplane without grating your fingers off. So you have to have big cloves to do this trick. Otherwise, we'll just mince it with a knife and see what we think. Speaking of, I'm just thinking of all the travels I've done since I've last seen you all or talked to you. And we went to Miami for the first time in my life, and I was blown away. You guys, I didn't know what to expect. We had the greatest time there. It was delightful. So much fun. Such interesting food, of course. We ate a lot. We spent a lot of time on the water. The beach was beautiful there and warm. And beautiful homes to check out. We took a little celebrity homes tour. It was so fun on the water, and we got to see all their yachts and all the things. It was really fun. But have any of you gone somewhere fun since we've last been together? I feel like people were taking some trips. Lori, did I miss your anniversary? Or were you guys just planning a trip for your anniversary, but it didn't happen yet? Okay, see this? Here's what we're gonna do. Garlic is sticky, you guys, so I'm going to rinse my hands. It's almost like having a little bit of honey on your hands. Is my water boiling too much over here? This is for my pasta. It's the green bean water I used. Fancy that. That's amazing, Lori, that you planted all of those things. What a treat. Okay, here we go. I'm going to just do this for stability's sake. London, how fun. Fenna, my friend, just went to Singapore and tagged along on her husband's work trip. And since I'd just been there for literally 24 hours, I was sharing where we went, and she had the best time. Those are like the best trips. You can just tag along. Chris, you went to Seattle for a concert? Anybody we know? I love traveling for music. I mean, obviously, Singapore is the farthest I'll probably ever go to see someone perform, but boy, oh boy, was that fun. Although Taylor Swift is playing in Europe this summer, and I'm dying for my kids to see the show. They probably wouldn't appreciate it as much as I do because they're not. I don't think I'd call myself a Swiftie, but I can just appreciate her as a performer and entertainer. Okay, this is super cool because I just got a ton of garlic in here, and I'm going to do a little bit more, and then I'm going to show you, okay? I don't know, Peter, how do you say his last name? Chincotti or Sincotti? What type of music? That's so fun that you did that. Nashville. You know what's crazy, Erna? I've never been to Nashville, and one of my dear friends, Amanda Fredrickson, moved there, and she's opened up a restaurant called Radish. And then it's in their version of kind of like the San Francisco Ferry Building for food. And then she just opened up, I think, like Little Rad, a smaller version of it with the market last week. She is amazing. And so if you need, it's like, I'm trying to think, if you guys know San Francisco or like good, like healthy fast food, or what do they call it? Where you can sit down, but you order at the counter, right? And so she has like these beautiful salads and bowls you can get. But she also sells frozen yogurt and a homemade cookie every day. She does beautiful food that's primarily better for you. And you can turn any of the main things into a salad or a sandwich. I think her fried chicken sandwich actually is supposed to be incredible too. I mean, if you're in the South, you kind of have to, right? Okay, can you guys see all that beautiful garlic that was zested into the pan? So it's these little micro pieces, and it's just I'm gonna get rid of those smaller pieces that I can't salvage. Those are my lemon bars calling, so let me flip them. But first I'll get the garlic off my hand. Fun fact, can you guys see me? You can't. I'm gonna show you a trick. Did you know that if you rub your fingers on metal, like on the faucet, I don't know if it has to be stainless steel, it takes the garlic scent out of you. It's crazy that it works. I just did that for the first time in probably 10 years instead of using soap. That's nuts. My hands do not have garlic oil on them anymore. Okay, let's look at this masterpiece of a lemon bar and see where we are. My guess is it's still probably really wet, and it might be too fragile to turn anyhow, but let's see. Woo! Yeah, they're like, it's almost like a souffle. No, it's like, it looks like eggs. It looks like eggs that are baking. Oops, and I just busted the towel through the top of it. They need more time for sure. I'm giving them at least another 15 minutes. I think they might need more time than that. So many different variables when we're baking. Okay, I'm going to give them another 15 minutes before I look at them. So what's happening is you get that top layer, right? Like the egg is baking on the top, and then underneath the surface, it's kind of jiggling. And so I just turned it because of, like I said, they were surfing the wrong direction. And we're going to give them a minute. Okay, I know I'm going to want more sauce than this, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to use up the little last bit of lemon. I'm going to squeeze it right in here. And then I'm going to put a little bit more oil in. And if you guys have enough of the main ingredients, like say you don't want more oil because you don't want it tasting too oily, or it's already acidic enough, add a splash of water. It's a great ingredient, promise you. So we're going to skip the capers. I don't have anything salty in here right now, so I'm actually going to add a little bit of salt. And I filled up my salt container right before I started, and it's right in front of my face. You can put pepper in. You could put some spices in if you wanted, or some hot chili flake. That'd be delicious. I'm going to use that in my pasta, so I think I'm going to keep this just like this, okay? And let's just get it out of the way like that. And I'm going to clean my surface, and we're going to get ready to fill the fish with some yummy things. But before I do that, I might even get more efficient. No, I'll just pull out another cutting board. Don't mind me. If anybody needs to take a break, I'm going to grab the fish out of the fridge and rinse it, and then I'm going to bring it in this beautiful pan I want to use. I'm going to see if it fits in this, and if it doesn't, I'm going to put it on a pretty basic baking sheet, okay? And we're about to have a big fish lesson, so go get yourself a drink, run to the restroom, whatever you need, and then we're going to talk about fish. What did I buy? Oh my gosh, it's going to kill me because now I've forgotten the name of it. How is that possible? How did that happen? Amanda? Oh wait, it says on the packaging. 1 second. We're about to learn all about fish. Sea bream. That's what it's called, sea bream. And it's from New Zealand, but it was the only one that wasn't farmed. And so there's a reason I bought it. Okay, I'm bringing this over, but don't worry if you're not settled yet. Yes, Anne-Marie, Radish in Nashville. I turn him that way. Hello. This should come with a warning, right? That if you're a little bit like not into fish, raw fish, that this is not the class for you. Now I'm washing my hands thoroughly. Because if I be touching other things like my water glass and such, I want to make sure I'm being careful, right? Okay, so we're going to talk about fish. And I'm going to move the camera to my face for a minute so you guys can see what I'm saying, right? Okay, all right. So fish. I have taught you guys how to cook fish, I think, many times, but usually it's already cut into fillets and it's something like salmon or halibut. And when you get it at the store, it's been scaled, it's been skinned, or the skin is on, but the pin bones are taken out, right? So all of that is great when you're looking to cook fast meals and with multiple portions where you don't want to take time cutting the fish, right? Raw fish, or you don't know how to do that, or it's just the easiest way to do it. And a lot of times when we are purchasing fish now that has not been over harvested, overfished basically, right? Or is not filled with yucky things from the ocean that have happened because we've been throwing everything in our water for so long. They are already portioned for you. And so I should back up. There's a label and it's called the Marine Stewardship Council, the MSC. And you will see it a lot of times on fish that's frozen, and you'll see it in the fresh fish department. If it says MSC certified, that means that the fish is not endangered. It means that it is also, there's a better word for what I'm trying to say, I'm sure, that it is not harmful to us in terms of like having too many toxins of it from all of the reasons, you know, like swordfish got such a bad rap because of what it eats and what it was, and potential parasites and all of those things. And so the Marine Stewardship Council comes in and makes sure that they are using clean and safe fishing practices, right? And that the fish is not being over harvested. And so if it's an endangered species, they won't sell it. If something becomes plentiful again, they will say, they'll let you know when they certify it, saying it's out of harm's way, right? So there are all of these different things to understand where your fish is coming from, what's in it, because environmentally we have polluted a lot of the waters that our fish live in, right? And if it's endangered. So we can get into the conversation about farm raised versus not later. It's become so complicated because people are now farm raising fish without antibiotics and doing things like that were the reason why farmed fish was so bad for so long. And so there's a lot of controversy around all of it. what I look for, and I went to this amazing dinner put on by the Marine Stewardship Council, is that like if the fish you're buying is MSC certified, you know that there's plenty of it in the world and it's not being fished for in like a destructive or harmful way, right? So they're not like torturing the animals. And so it's an incredible organization because they put these practices in place. And whether you're buying, like there are a lot of, whether you're at Safeway or Kroger's or Whole Foods, right? Like most of the fish that you buy in the on the packaging, they label it. And so you can look right away and it's got this little fish jumping on the package and you know that it's okay to consume, right? So this whole thing though about like buying fresh fish versus frozen fish, the fish that I don't really like is when they've cryo wrapped it, they've put it in saran wrap in the grocery store and it's been sitting out at that temperature for a week or so. It gets kind of gross. And even though there's an expiration date, I like fish that's fresh in the case on ice, right? Or even if I buy fillets fresh in the case on ice or frozen already, because guess what? Most fish is frozen to get to you anyhow. So even if it's been put in the fish case and it's on ice, it was probably flash frozen to get to you. So most fish has already been frozen. So my point is, if you really want to start eating more fish, you want to, you've done your homework on the types of fish you like because they're good for you, buy frozen fillets and that is fine. And you just take them out and you defrost them before you want to use them, okay? As you can see, there's a ton of information about it. So I tend to do one of two things. I either buy my fish out of the case, and it's fine if they've filleted it for you and whatever, or I buy it whole like this, or I buy it frozen. But I don't like to buy the kind that's been wrapped in plastic unless the expiration date, or you can tell it says the packed by date, and if it's been packed that day, that's fine. But I'm just thinking back to like bad cod and kinds of fish that my parents would cook when I was little that had been sitting in that styrofoam packaging for days and days, and it smelled fishy, which is going to lead to my next fish lesson here. How do you know? Oh, that's right, Lori, I'm reading about your anniversary. Pebble Beach, yay! That sounds amazing. Okay, how do you know if your fish is fresh? Fish is fresh. A couple things. It should not smell fishy. And yes, I have allergies and maybe a cold right now, but I can still smell. This does not smell fishy. There's nothing about this that makes me go, ah. Also, if you're buying whole fish, the eyes should be clear, okay? So they're not like cloudy. So these are clear-eyed fish, all right? It should smell good. It should have clear eyes. You can also tell kind of when it's gotten older and that, like, I don't know how to describe it. Let me think about this. How the texture of it kind of becomes mushier, but this is like firm fish. Now, the other thing that I had them do for me is that when they're selling them and they're really fresh and they come into the market and they got them on ice, they still have all this stuff inside them. So I asked them to gut it for me. And they should have already scaled it. So that means they're taking off the scales that are like, right? All they do is you can scrape them off with a knife. They have a little tool that they use where, where they hold it up and they just scrape down on it and it scrapes the scales off. So when I buy a whole fish, you should never be afraid to be like, can I smell it or can I see it? Or if the eyes are cloudy, tell them you want a different fish from the back. Respect if you do that, respect. And if they don't have others or if they give you any flack, don't buy it, right? And then they did the beautiful thing of gutting it for me. I'm sorry, I need to show you this. And of course, here I am with my fishy hands. Can you see that? So they cut it open for me. And the reason I love this is we can put herbs and delicious things on the inside, and we can salt it on the inside too. So all that flavor is going to get on the inside. Now, what about cutting through it, slashing it on the top? I only do that because I think it looks super cool. It probably dries it out a little bit more, but I'm going to do it just because it's pretty for you, okay? But when I'm cooking fish whole, there are a couple things it needs. It needs seasoning for flavor. And when I say seasoning, I mean salt is what's going to bring out the flavor of the fish. The other things I love, though, are herbs to put inside it. This recipe calls for a little bit of fennel. I'm looking aside at the recipe. So it calls for olive oil, salt, a lemon, a fennel bulb, thinly sliced garlic, parsley, mint. I'm just going to stuff a ton of yummy aromatic things on the inside, but I'm going to salt it on the inside, and then I'm going to put olive oil on both sides on the outside and sprinkle it with salt as well, okay? So this is basically, we're gonna have some fun with this fish, all right? This is like playtime for us. So I just want to tell you the temperature too before I stop paying attention to my recipe and I focus on the fish. It's 400 degrees. Grilled fish is delicious. If you have like a fish basket or something that you can put the fish on where it's perforated on the bottom so it doesn't get stuck to the grill grates itself, that's really nice to have. I'm doing all of this in the oven today because it's rainy and I'm being lazy. Otherwise, I would put it out on my grill and it would be delicious, okay? So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get this board and I'm gonna use my board, the same board that I was using before for the fish. But after this, I'm gonna take the board away and I am going to wash it really well, but then I'll use a different board for the other things I'm doing today, okay? Makes sense. So anything that's touching the fish right now is because it's going into the oven and it's going to get baked and we won't have to worry about that. So let me wash my hands before I start because I want to move some things around and I'll be touching a lot of things, okay? And then we're going to have some fun with this fish. So Anne, the Whole Foods brand is good, but more than looking at the brands now, I look to see that it's MSC certified. That's basically like what organic has become. If you know it's MSC certified, you know it's as good as it's going to get in terms of not being overfished and not being toxic. And so I look for that over the brand label itself. But you'll notice that a lot of, not all the brands sell MSC certified fish. And Whole Foods tends to sell MSC certified fish that's frozen, right? So you can buy the Whole Foods brand and see it. Okay. This hand is still clean. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to move the camera down. And just for kicks, we're going to slash this because I think it looks pretty. And again, my knife is not terribly sharp, you guys, which is a bummer. But I'm going to do this on both sides. I'm going to hold it by the tail because it's actually the easiest way to do it. Yeah, if my knife were sharp enough, I would not have to put any pressure on it right now. And I am having to put pressure on it, which is annoying. But this is going to look so pretty. And then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to have it go the same direction because I'm a weirdo. The cheeks, you guys, once you bake it and we take this off the bone, you're going to see there's so much yummy meat down here. And if this part of the class is grossing you out, it's totally okay to just walk away for like another 10 minutes and come back when it's cooked, okay? Okay, so I've slashed it because it's pretty and I'm also going to get some more flavors in it, right? I'm going to put some olive oil in there and all the things. Let me wash my hands again because I'm going to touch the olive oil bottle. Are we all doing okay? Any other questions? Okay, I'm going to have my salt open. And what I'm going to try to do, let's think about this. I was going to try to only put one hand on the fish so I don't have to keep washing my hands, but that's just not going to be possible because look what I'm going to do. I'm going to open this up here and I'm going to put a little olive oil in it. And then I'm going to just rub some on the outside too and start getting it. Actually, I take back what I said because I've only used this hand so far to touch the fish, right? So watch this. Those are our lemon bars. I'm going to sprinkle in the salt. I'm going to sprinkle it, and I'm going to open up these pockets right there and get the salt in there. Isn't that cool? But you even want to salt every little area because you'll be surprised at how much of this is actually flesh that you want to eat. And rub it in. We cooked these while we were in Bali, you guys, and we ended up cooking them in banana leaves. Oh my God, it was so beautiful and so delicious. It was amazing. But they got them through the mouth, so you don't cut the belly, but it's amazing. So it's preserved, you know, whole, and that can keep it, it's like it steams it more, but it's harder to get herbs and seasoning down the entirety of the inside of the fish. So it's a personal preference thing. Okay, I'm transitioning to lemon bars, so I'm going to wash my hands very well right now. And I'm going to move the cooling rack for the lemon bars in case they're ready. Oh, I made bubbles, too. slice away from the fish. I don't think the lemon bars are going to be ready. In fact, I think I'm going to change the recipe on my website to reflect a little more time. They're just a little, you know what? I want to give them like 5 more. Actually, they're good. I take it all back. They're ready. My recipe works. You can just see, you're going to see where I putting it over the fish. Can you see that? Oh yeah, the camera changed. See that little place where I accidentally jiggled it and it looks different on top? That's okay because we're going to fix it with confectioner sugar, with powdered sugar. I'm going to put these on a wire rack to cool. And yeah, I'm just examining them to see if any of the filling got through. On one side, I think it did a little bit. That's okay, folks. They're delicious. These are forgiving as well. Woo! I'm so excited. Okay, back to where we were with the fish. I'm going to grab a couple more herbs, and we're going to stuff this. And I'm going to change the oven temperature to 400. Oh, I have tarragon. This changes everything. Forget parsley. Change the oven to 400. Oops. Sometimes my oven does a funny little dance on me. Okay. The other thing I would do, you guys, is if I weren't teaching this to you live right now, I would put this pan in the oven to preheat a little bit. Actually, I'm going to do it. Let's just make the time for it. Because what's going to happen is if this pan is hot and I put the fish in, it's going to cook more evenly than if I put the whole thing in cold, right? Because then you're going to need this pan to get hot on the bottom, and it's gonna matter. So let's just preheat it. And while we stuff the fish. So let's get some garlic, let's get some fennel, let's get a lemon. I'm like putting too much in it. We don't need all of this stuff in it. Keep it simple. I'm gonna do a little fennel though, because the recipe calls for it and I think it's delicious. I'm gonna do some lemon and I'm gonna do some herbs, and then we have the salt in it. We could certainly do pepper if we wanted. Here's what I'm gonna do. I am gonna pick the herbs and put them over here, but I'm not gonna let all the rest of the herbs hit the fishy area. We've got mint, we've got a thyme sprig. I like those two things together, actually. Then I'm going to cut some fennel over here on a separate board. I'm just going to do a couple little slices, and I'll come show you what I'm doing, okay? Let's get a different knife for this. I'm going to cut the ends off it. I'm going to cut the tops off, I should say, the stalks. And I'm going to cut it in half. I love showing you guys what I'm doing. You see that, right? So I cut it in half. And then remember this core, we don't want that core. That core is yucky. So I'm going to take my paring knife and I'm going to cut around it, okay? And then I'm just going to slice a couple pieces that'll fit in the fish, along with a lemon. So I'm just going to put some thin slices in there. It's very licoricey. You could also just put the fronds in, like herbs. Let's do that, actually. So these are the fronds from the top of it, right? From the stalks. Now let me slice a little lemon, and I'll bring that over, and we're going to just stuff this thing. So fun. I love cooking with you guys. These I'm just cutting into rounds. If there's a seed or two, don't worry about it. Actually, that one's got a lot of seeds, so we'll leave that piece out. So here's what we've got to play with. Then you know what'd be delicious? Like a shaved fennel salad next to it, which I might do. Okay, so I've got some lemon slices. I've got some sliced fennel. And then I've got these yummy herbs. And I'm going to skip the garlic because there's only so much this needs. I'm going to cut a little bit farther down on this just to give it more space to stuff it. And they took it to almost as far as it can go, actually. Silly me. I'm just really going to get in there, okay? So here we go. lemon slices, fennel, and it's just going to infuse the fish with some extra flavor, you guys. Never mind, it looks pretty sexy when you roast it like this. In you go mint. You know, we've got the mint in the sauce. And then we're going to stuff it with the fennel fronds and the thyme and more mint and more fennel itself. And I think that that's pretty full. If I were styling this for guests coming over, I would make my herbs look perfect sticking out of it, but we're not really doing that today. But it's still pretty gorgeous. Or I'd make the lemon slices kind of peek out. Whereas today I'm going for like trying to really get it all in there so it's extra delicious, right? Can you see that? So like if you want to make it look fancy, which I probably did in the book, you have like little lemon slices sticking out of it. Whereas today I'm like, get in there. Stay in there. Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to wash my hands one more time because I'm going to open the oven and I'm going to carry this fish over and I'm going to put it directly onto the pan that's in the oven already, okay? So I need one clean hand to open the oven. You can see it's like you can get fish everywhere or any raw meat or poultry. Just wash those hands. Okay, here we go. I'm going to pull the pan out a little bit. You might even hear it sizzle if the pan's hot enough. Goodbye. Yep, gorgeous. Dang, we know what we're doing here, folks. I'm using my clean pinky to set the timer for 15 or 14 minutes to start. It's going to be awesome. Goodbye, fishy board. Anybody needs to get something to drink while I watch this? I just don't want to leave anything covered in raw fish in my sink. Grub a dub. Okay. That guy's taken care of. There we go. Oh, there's still some soap on it. But I got it good. Please ask me questions as I'm coming back to the computer. Happy to answer any of them, especially if this technique is new to you. Look at me just cleaning up after myself. Anything is possible. Okay. We're going to let those lemon bars cool a little bit longer before I mess around with them again. But let's move on to the pasta, shall we? Oh, shoot, I meant to ask Charlie to bring me some Orecchiette because I didn't have any. I forgot to buy it at the store yesterday. That's okay, because this is simple, simple. All right, here's what we've got. We are going to move on to this easy pasta. That is one of my favorite recipes because of its simplicity. You know why my book is called Homemade Simple. I like it. I like to keep it simple. All right. Okay, so we've got that. I have got, what do I have, earrings on my cutting board? I'm not quite sure. We won't ask me any questions. And then here's what I've already got, you guys. I've got my stock pot out with water in it. This is my new multi-pot that I'm obsessed with that I sent to one of our winners. Was it Debbie? I think it was Debbie. You could definitely use fillets, Carol. And if you were going to use fillets, I'm so glad you asked this question. You can, if you have fillets with the skin still on it, put the herbs and the lemon and the fennel in the bottom of a pan and some olive oil, and then put it flesh side down so the skin is up. And then you can put some oil and salt on the top part and on the bottom. And you can cook them skin side up, and they're still going to be delicious. And then when you take them out, you can serve it with the skin side down, or you can take that skin off. Okay, so absolutely you can do that. And Lori, let's see. Yeah, so here's these are the ones I love that should not taste fishy if you're getting them fresh, and that is branzini, sea bass, which I think it's called sea bass. It depends, like in different parts of the world, they call them different things, and some of the same fish have like 3 different names. Snapper, red snapper. None of these should have a strong fishy taste if they are fresh, fresh, fresh. So maybe he doesn't like salmon. Like, is that just too much flavor for him? So if you like a halibut, that's like more of a delicate flavor, and it just cooks really quickly. It dries out really quickly. It doesn't have much fat in it, Lori. But any of those white fish, maybe not. The other ones I think people think are fishy are trout, right? I never liked trout because I thought it was so fishy. And then I realized, again, if you're getting fresh rainbow trout or something like that, it really isn't as fishy by any means. So hope those suggestions help. Okay, so I've got some pasta water going already, and I lost a little bit of it because I cooked my green beans in here. Just gonna add another little splash. But I'm only gonna make enough pasta for 1 or 2. My friend Sunny's coming over later, so actually I should probably make enough for Sunny. And let me pull out this recipe so we can walk through it. I managed to take out, I've bought every herb under the planet for that recipe, for those recipes I was working on the other day for Nama juicing, but I think I bought too many. Okay, so I'm gonna need some lemon, some garlic. I think I saw garlic over there, do I? Freshly grated Parmesan cheese, some broccoli. And I'm gonna just show you how easy this darn recipe is. And it's something that can come together in a matter of minutes on a weeknight. My kind of recipe, friends. My kind of recipe. And then I bought a new chunk of Parmesan cheese because it's only because I wanted to talk to you about the fact that when you buy a chunk of it like this, it is so absolutely delicious and it tastes better than when you buy it already in a container. But what I do is, like, if you use a little bit of this and you try to wrap it up, it can dry out really quickly. So I take it and I grate what I need for my serving, and then I cut off that rind and I put it in chunks in the food processor, and you just put it on high and blend the crap out of it. And you get Parmesan cheese like that, okay? All right, so where's my pasta too? It's over here. I'm using penne because it's what I have. But I much, much, much prefer Orecchiette for this recipe because the pieces of broccoli get caught in it, and it's perfect. You get these perfect little bites, right? Lori, I'm obsessed with Breville, and they cost a lot of money, but they just sent me a new one, and I have to say it is life-changing. The only reason I got rid of my old one is because I dropped the carafe, and it is so hard to break it. When I say I dropped it, it's like I accidentally kicked it and I chipped it. And you have to order a new carafe, which is like $100, right? And so I was asking them for a new carafe, and they said, can we send you our newest one? And I said, sure, and it is amazing. But I love Breville everything. So Cuisinart's great too. Breville is just super thoughtful about, like, their blade for slicing. It has this mechanism on it where you can lower it and raise it. So like you can get from like the most paper thin slice to like a thick slice. And then when you go to store it, you can put this blade all the way down so you can't cut yourself. It's just, they're such well-designed products. So I'm a huge fan of Breville. They can cost you anywhere between $300 and up, I think. Cuisinarts probably aren't that much less expensive, to be honest. So either of those brands you can't go wrong with, okay? KitchenAid makes a food processor too that's great, but they're expensive. They're all expensive. So they're a big gift kind of thing. Okay, let's go to the pasta. We're not making Connor's mac and cheese because Connor is not home right now. And you guys, here it is. There's not a picture for this recipe in this book, which makes me sad. But it is just a total go-to in this house, and I've been making it for so long. And here's all we're going to do. we're going to cook some pasta. And then in a pan, we're going to saute some garlic with some olive oil. We're going to add some broccoli to it that's finely chopped so we don't have to steam it first. You can add a little water to it and cover it though so it cooks even faster. You can add red pepper flakes if you like. And then we're going to put the pasta in the pan, and we're going to put some lemon zest and juice on it, and a bunch of Parmesan cheese and black pepper, and that is it. So this whole thing should come together in the amount of time it takes to cook the penne. So should we race? Should we time me? What do you think? I don't want to be stupid and mess up the fish while I'm having my little contest. But let's look at the fish first. And then I'm going to salt this water again. We always need salt. And then, you know what else I'm going to do? I'm just going to beat myself to the punch. And I'm going to put some olive oil in this pan already. That's going to be my next step. That's probably closer to 3 tablespoons than 2. But who's counting? Let me go take a peek at the fish. And then I'm going to change the timer on it. Hello, fish. Oh, she's looking pretty. Oh my God, it's so gorgeous, but at least another 15 minutes. It's been going for about 10. I'm going to give it 15 before I even check it again. So here's what's going to be super fun about this. I'm going to... Okay, so now we just have a timer for 15 for the fish. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to chop this broccoli first, and then I'm going to put the pasta in, and we're going to race to see if I can cook this broccoli part faster or as fast as the pasta itself cooks, okay? And I'm not going to look at my recipe. I'm just going to go by instinct and see if I remember how to cook. So first, let me just rinse this broccoli off, and then I'll change the camera again and show you what I'm doing. My guess is when you get broccoli like this, it's already been washed a lot. But I like to give it one last rinse. Okay, I'm going to get wildly aggressive with what I'm doing here. So are we ready for this, folks? I just want to make sure I have everything I need. The other thing I need is a couple tablespoons of water. God, do I like to make a mess. I'm going to put the water right here. I'm going to put the Parmesan cheese right here. And then I'm going to put the lemon zester right next to my pot as well. And then what else do I need? I don't need both lemons. I need to chop my garlic, and I need to cut my broccoli. Okay, so let's move this camera down. And let's do this thing. Let's chop this broccoli like I said, and then I'll put the pasta in, okay? So you guys probably know I love buying things whole. Everything, did you hear my voice squeak? Everything always tastes better in its whole form. And so if you buy it and these have already been cut, you're losing some of the moisture and the flavor of things. So I like to cut it off the stem. And I'm just, can you see how I'm just taking my knife and cutting on the stalk, right? So, and then I'll show you what part of the stalk I like to use too. Because I use a little bit of the stalk. It's like meat, you know, it's got flavor. But it's kind of like asparagus. The lower you go on the stalk, the less delicious it is. But I'm going to cut like little pieces of it, okay? So that's enough for that. Now, I don't make a ton of veggie stocks. I think you know why. I'm just a weirdo. I don't love vegetable stocks. I like them when I'm doing something for me that's like healing, right? Where I'm combining ingredients that are supposed to be really good for me. But like substituting vegetable stock for chicken stock, I'm just a snob about it. So I won't put these in a stock is what I'm saying. But now I'm going to just cut these. If any of these are in big pieces, I'm going to make them a little bit smaller because I want these broccoli pieces to cook quickly. So the smaller they are, the faster they're going to cook. Okay, now I'm just going to do that. So I'm going to turn on my cooktop, and I'm going to put in the pasta. And we're going to race. The amazing race. Amanda against herself. Okay, let's have some penne. How long does it say this takes? 11 to 13 minutes. I'll probably think it takes less time. Cook the whole thing, and I'll invite Charlie over for lunch. He is at his dad's, but he's coming over here soon anyhow, so I'll let him know that I've got this ready. I'm going to give it a quick stir. Yes, I'm using a knife. No, don't do that at home. And here we go. So let me just chop up this garlic, and then I'll move the camera over to the pans, okay? And if it says it's 11:12 on here, then this pasta will be ready around 11:20 or 11:22. And that's how quickly my sauce should be ready. Is it a sauce? What else would we call it? I guess we'll call it a sauce. It's not very saucy. It's not a topping. We'll just call it the rest of the recipe. Okay, I'm gonna like just chop my garlic a little. Okay. And I'm gonna let that cook first. Now we don't want the garlic to burn, right? It's super important. Otherwise you can't undo it. It's like crispy and brown and burnt tasting. So we don't want the oil too hot. And so I can hear it cooking, which is fine, and we're gonna add a little bit of salt to it. But I'm gonna keep it in that oil, and the second I think it's fragrant enough, I'm gonna add the broccoli. Get in there. This is my favorite essential pan from Heston that I'm constantly talking about. There we go. Now you're gonna be able to see it all, right? So let's just give this a little bit of a stir, this garlic. It smells so delicious. I cannot handle it. Oh my gosh, so good. In fact, I want more garlic in it because I just found another chunk. I'm getting greedy. Garlic's so good for us. Lord knows I could use it right now. And again, it doesn't matter if you're using gluten-free or regular pasta. Use whatever you like. If you have orecchiette, all the better, because the little pieces of orecchiette are like that big, right? And so it gets tossed in with the broccoli and it's perfection. Cook, 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 my little broccoli. I can't stand when there's a dirty cutting board like that. So away it goes. Rinse and away. And let me just rinse. See, sometimes I can't deal with dirty. I can deal with mess more than dirt. I do not like dirty things. Okay. Yum. This smells so good, and it's so simple. I'm going to add a little bit more salt. And then let's just add a couple chili flakes, shall we? I don't use them enough. Now remember, there's going to be grated Parmesan cheese, and that's super salty. So we don't need a ton of salt yet. We just need enough to bring out the flavors in the broccoli. And then let me get the chili flakes too. Ooh, then we get to check out our lemon bars. Chili flakes. Red pepper flakes, whatever you like to call them. Here they are. They call them crushed red pepper. So just a couple. And when I say just a couple, that's what I mean. Like not even, it's like, I'm a whip. Don't put these near your eye. That's actually not even enough to make a difference. So let me get a couple more. And I think I just sent some broccoli overboard. Nope. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to just kind of like stir fry this broccoli right now. And you'll notice like it's crisp, but it's not really tender yet. And so if we want it to cook faster without having to add more oil, we can just add a little bit of water and we can cover the pan. I'm going to use this same spatula to stir my pasta. No harm in that. Oh, it's vibrant and beautiful. So nice, right? You know what else is nice? The fact that this handle does not get hot. So I can show you. Isn't that awesome? I'm only using this to get a better grip because I have a little bit of oil on my hands. So I'm just tossing this around, toss, toss, toss. And now I'm going to grab the water. Let's see if this lid fits it. I think it does. It's a little small. I'll get the other lid. Last time I did this, remember what I did? I suctioned the pan. So watch this. I'm going to move the camera while I get the lid, the correct lid out. Excuse me, guys. Just have to move my computer. I'm such a mess, but it's fun. Ta-da! There's the right lid. And, yep, let's just let that hang out for a second. And take it from there. Okay. Yep, it's just like steaming, right? Which is perfect. That's all we want it to do. And so it's going to crisp up really quickly. Did I say the pasta would be ready around 11? It was 11:22, I said, right? Or 11:20 if it's cooking extra fast. Let's see. Yeah, it's still pretty al dente. You know what else I can do? I can just lightly warm up my sauce for the fish. She's a beauty. We're so fun. Cooking together on this Saturday morning. I have not used Always pans, Anne. Do you like them? Have you tried them? I'm a huge fan of Heston for my forever pans. And then I love Scan Pan for nonstick. And you guys know I love Le Creuset and stove for my cast iron Dutch ovens. I'll be selling all of these in my new store when I open. I swear I just got a piece of broccoli down my shirt. Oh, Amanda. Let's see. I think this broccoli is as cooked as I want it, actually. So look at how fast that happened. Now, what are we going to do? We are going to zest some lemon juice, lemon zest, I should say, while the water evaporates. I might add a little bit more olive oil to it, not much. And then let me just slice this lemon. I'm going to do it right on this counter. You can't see me, but I'm using my beautiful butcher block. Compost, compost, more lemon. The fragrance coming out of here, you guys, with this sauce and this broccoli is out of this world. Okay. I'm just going to sneak a little taste of this. I kind of want the lemon juice to cook down. It's perfect. It's literally, this broccoli is so delicious like this. Remember that just for a recipe on its own. I'm gonna hold on. Can you believe how quickly that came together? The pasta's not even done yet. So what's going to happen is I'm going to drain the pasta and put it directly in here with a little splash of pasta water, and then we're going to add the grated Parmesan and some freshly ground pepper if we'd like, and dunzo. It's amazing. Let's use a spoon to test this. Speaking of, you guys, I know you humor me with my love of television. Is anybody watching anything great? Oh, Lori or Anne? Everything sticks to your regular all-clad. So you're meaning the all-clad you use that's not meant to be non-stick, like the stainless line. It usually means you're not cooking at a hot enough temperature, or you're trying to turn things too quickly. So if you've got like meat, chicken, or steak sticking to your pan, and you're trying to flip it, it hasn't been cooking long enough, and you need to let it sit until it caramelizes and it comes up from the pan. So normally people aren't cooking at a high enough temperature, and they're being impatient is what happens if you're cooking on all stainless, okay? All right, let's move it back here. I think this pasta is almost done. And the coolest thing about this multi-pot is that you can see how I'm going to drain it. Al dente. Perfection. Skip the green beans because I know I've made them before. And I want to focus on the lemon bars and the fish and everything else, but I won't. Okay, so let's turn this back on. Can you guys see what I'm doing here? So I just drained that right over the pot. Can you see that? Yeah, you can. In you go. I mean, this thing is the best. And then you're not having to transfer a pot of hot water over to the sink, right? To try to strain it. I'm going to just let this heat up a little bit. We're going to add a splash of that pasta water. This is actually a really nice ratio of pasta to broccoli, and I wasn't even trying to get it right. I was just messing around. Let me get a little tablespoon. Can you see me add that pasta water? I can move this up. We were the lucky ones. I've seen a lot of ads for that. Masters of the Sky. I haven't heard about. I want to hear about that one. Okay, so this is hot, you guys, and the pasta water is actually kind of acting as a little bit of sauce. But it's good to coat it before you add the Parmesan cheese. So that gives it like a coating that the parm's going to stick to. I'm going super heavy on the parm because my kiddo is going to come over here and pig out on it. And he loves it. And then I do love freshly ground black pepper with this. It's one of the few things where I crave black pepper on it. You know how I feel about black pepper? I do not like it on everything. It drives me bonkers. When people use it as a lead spice on everything. There it is. Okay. Whoa, it's cheesy. It's garlicky. It's got a hint of lemon. I'm going to let this sit for a second because it's going to be too hot. Watch me burn my mouth. Perfect hem. Wait. I'm going to grab the fish and land it right here on my cutting board. So let me move the cutting board. Actually, it might not be ready. So hold on one sec. Oh my God, it's so pretty. I can't handle it. You guys, it's so gorgeous. And I understand if you don't like things looking at you. Okay, I'm going to bring the camera down just to ooh and awe you, to woo you. Oh, wow. Okay, now's the fun part. It's all fun. Who am I kidding? But look at how beautiful this is going to be. And I'm just going to drizzle this sauce right over the top. And it's kind of like sizzly since the pan is still hot. Is this gorgeous? Or what? Are we impressive? Or what? Come on. You guys, the only reason I don't want to pull into this fish is because, oh, maybe I'll get a photograph of it before I dig into it. How's that? And then I'll show you how I take it off. Because it's only 11:25. Sirius XM Radio has a 30-day Taylor commercial-free station. Oh my God, amazing. Thank you, Erna. How fun. I keep meaning to go back and watch the concert on Disney now because when I was there, it was so hard to take it all in. There's so much to see, right? And so I'm sure that there are other things I missed, so I'm going to watch it in the privacy of my own home. Okay, this is going to be freaking delicious. Let me take a little bite. I do very dumb things in the kitchen, friends. You just have to forgive me. Let me take a taste. And then before we do the green beans, we're going to take a look at the lemon bars. This is so dang good. And it is so dang simple. This might move into my top 10 recipes, you guys. I forgot to tell you, too, if you like chicken apple sausage, you could add a little bit of that to it. But, oh my God. 100 for the pasta. Okay. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to move this fish for now, and I'm going to bring the lemon bars over, and we're going to examine the situation. Let me get a towel and an oven mitt, and this stuff is too pretty. I can't even handle it. We're too good at our jobs. Oh my goodness. All right, lemon bars. Let's see if they're cooled. They're pretty cooled. But here's what I want to teach you guys about is like what happens when they get ooey gooey sticky. Oh, welcome to Wrexham. You know what? I would love to go back and start watching that. Did you guys know that those two invested in a Formula One team as well? That Ryan Reynolds and what's his partner's name? The other actor? Yeah, they have part of a Formula One team that was bombing. I was impressed. They clearly like the underdogs. Okay, I'm going to get my cookbook out of the way because I think that this is the only copy of my book I have right now. Isn't that funny? I have to buy them. Okay, I'm going to take a knife around these lemon bars real fast. And actually, the smartest thing to do is probably this is my little cream cheese spreader is probably the easiest thing to do. Right now, I'm just looking to go around the foil. And because if any of the filling came out, the foil's probably sticking to the pan. And don't worry if these are crumbly. I'm going to try to lift this whole thing out. It could break, and they're still salvageable. And I'll show you what I mean. Because, yeah, so some of the filling went underneath. And that's because of my oven, which I warned you that it might be too, that it might be the case. But that just means that I should have put a double layer of foil down, and I should have a flat rack in my oven. You live and you learn, right? So I'm going to have to cut them in the pan because this side is sticky underneath. But here's the part about this. Like, they can get ugly, and then it's still so forgiving because they're a freaking lemon bar. So I'm going to start by just pulling out this edge. And so if you like the crispy bits, you just need to get a chunk going, and it can be ugly, okay? Oh, I actually need to let them cool a little longer. Oh, my God, but they're going to be so good. This is like a drug. So here's what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to let them cool longer, and then I'm going to cut out this side a little bit, and then I'll start cutting in squares, and then I'll have to remove the foil. The thing I'm laughing about, which now I want to test this whole thing over with, is without any parchment or any foil in this really good nonstick pan, and see if it works better. I have made this recipe so many times, and I keep trying to get around like what happens if any of this spills to the bottom. And now suddenly I think I have a new idea. So stay tuned. You might see me making these again tomorrow. And yes, I'm going to eat a bite warm because what did I say? It's my drug. I mean, they're perfection, but they do need to cool, I think. I think they're better when they're at room temperature. When they're warm, you can't really like appreciate the texture of the lemon filling on top. And right now it's still setting, so you can't really even see the layer. But I promise you, it's insanely delicious. Okay, let's get that out of the way. talking about the green beans and how easy this is going to be. This is literally another one of those one-pot wonders. So we have our delicious broccoli orecchiette, which frankly, in my house, this goes straight from the pan into the pasta bowls. It never makes it to a serving bowl or something like that, right? Which I love, actually. I would put it, watch this. Boop-a-da-doo. I'm going to make 2 servings right now, and I'm going to set them aside. That is like an aggressive serving, but I'm going to photograph these, and so I'm going to put all the pasta in them, and then I'll top them with more grated parm, and they are delightful. Now, I really want to use this same pan because it's the perfect size pan for what I'm about to do. So let me let it soak for a second, and then I'll do that. I just want to show you guys how simple and pretty this is and how this will look if you, please ignore the Santa towel. Keeping it real over here. Keeping it real. Okay, and then a little bit more of that freshly ground black pepper. Hit it. You know what else we're watching, you guys, is the actual Formula One show. Is it Drive to Survive? Is that what it's called? Or Obsessed? Lori, I'm going to crack the code for us on that. I think I know what I need to do. And it has to do with building a better moat in the crust. Beautiful, right? Okay, I'm putting these aside too. We're just basically building a bar of food. And that darn fish is just so beautiful, I can't even handle it. Now, would you guys mind, before I start the green beans, let me bring the camera up to my face, if I take my phone and just quickly take a picture of the fish, because I would love to actually take the fish off the bone for you and show you what it looks like and how it just kind of flakes off. If you've never done that, we can end the class with how I do that. So I'll make the green beans and then I'll show you that. But I think I should capture a picture of it for Instagram. So we have it. What do you guys say? Fenna, good? Okay, good. Let's do that. So go grab a water or anything that you need. I'm still, Sunny's coming to wash my dishes because I told her I wasn't feeling well. So if she comes flying in the house, we'll know why, right? Let's see, what else? Do you heat your plates when serving? I love that suggestion so much. And yes, I do like warmed plates. So if I'm entertaining, absolutely. And sometimes this sounds silly, but like I'll have my like pasta bowls right next to like a hot pan of water, so they're kind of getting warm. But like 200 degrees in your oven, I love that. I've never microwaved my plates. I just put them in like a 200-degree oven, and you can let them hang out in there if they're oven proof. Porcelain is oven proof. So if I use any of these plates I'm talking about, those are fantastic, and you can totally do that. And it's a big pet peeve of mine too, because it'll take warm food and make it cold in a heartbeat. So I warm my plates for the holidays, and I warm it for entertaining anything where the temperature is really going to change if it's on a cold plate. So I love to do that too. Take a vote. Do people have warming drawers? If you were going to build a new kitchen, would you want a warming drawer? Because we're trying to decide if we should put them in the cooking school we're building. And now that you're asking, I kind of think we should. It's like a luxury, you know? I think it's a total luxury. All right, let me photograph the fish, and I'm going to bring the ingredients back for the green beans, and whammo, we're going to be done with class. Okay, this thing is just so gorgeous. And then even the pasta, if I get it in the background, don't you think? I'm talking to you all like you're right here, but you kind of are. I'm going to do the broccoli. I don't know what I think of that. I think I might just have to get that one overhead. See, I'm not really like styling my food. I just go for it. But when you get behind the camera, you can see how things look so different when they lose their depth. Like that one, I'm going to cheat it, as we say, because it doesn't look like the bowl is full. Okay, I think I got them enough. Now let's get the almonds. We need, if I have some shallot, I parboiled the blanched the green beans already, right? So again, welcome to another one pot wonder kind of dish. I have lemon, and then I need my cookbook because I want to do my recipe correctly for you. Let's find it. There are so many good recipes in this book, you guys, that I almost forget about because I'm always working on something new. Okay, here we go. So, add the almonds and then remove them and transfer them to the plate. Add the olive oil and the shallots and cook them. And then add the green beans, toss with the shallots. Add the almonds, lemon zest, lemon juice, and parsley. This is so dang fast. I love this recipe because it is so dang fast. So here's what I did. I blanched my green beans in salted boiling water for 3 minutes, okay? I drained them, took them out. We could have even done them for 2 minutes if you're not going to put them in cold ice water to stop the cooking, okay? They were still al dente at 3 minutes, but I didn't put ice water over them to stop the cooking or put them in ice water. They don't need to be cooked for a second longer. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to saute these ingredients in the pan. Boom, I'm going to throw these in and warm them up, and we're done. And I'm going to show you something else. Normally I toast these almonds first. I'm not even going to do that. I'm going to cook the shallots in the pan. I'm going to add the olive oil, then add the shallots and salt, add the green beans. No, and then I'm going to add the almonds and just toast them right then, and then throw the green beans in and some lemon zest and lemon juice and parsley, and we call it a day, okay? So this is another one that should come together in literally, if I'm doing my job, 5 minutes. Hold on. Some dishwashers now can heat plates. Oh, that's interesting. I'll have to find that. Lori, that's a good question too. I think it probably is. And most ovens can proof now as well because it's the same temperature, like really, well, proofing more like, I think probably under 100 degrees. I could be wrong about that. But they're making ovens do many of those things. They're allowing ovens to get to lower temperatures, you know? Okay, so I'm just going to use this same pan like I talked about. And everything's going to be swell. This little Scrub Daddy sponge is the absolute best. All right, here we go, folks. The final stretch. It's kind of fun to do all this cooking with you. Please ask me if you have questions, okay? But here's what I'm going to do. I think I'm getting a cold, which is a bummer. I'm going to do the shallots and the lemon, get that prepped on this board. And then we're literally going to move so fast with this. I need to clean off my microplane so I can use that again too. So for the lemon zest, I'm going to cut some shallots real quickly or real slowly, depending on how fast you think I move. Take that skin off. It's really hard to get just the top layer of the shallot skin off. And then I need yeah. No, I'm going to save these for vinaigrette because I'm obsessed with putting shallots in my vinaigrette now. And I'm not going to do this whole batch of green beans. I'm just going to do enough for a couple of us. Woo! Sorry, that noise is a little bit tough on the ears. Okay, this is got a little bit of that green stem going in the middle. I don't love it. It's just a little bit bitter. So So I'm picking it out, but I'm being nitpicky. Certainly not the end of the world. Okay, let's fire this up, friends. Let me get my zester ready. My microplane, whichever you call it. I think a zester can be bigger sometimes, like have bigger slots. So this is really a microplane because it's got like really tiny little ridges for slicing things, right? But either way, I have a lemon nearby. I have my almonds nearby. I have my green beans and my shallots. The only thing I'm missing is the parsley, which I believe is still in the fridge. Let's check it out. It is. I'm just going to grab a little bit. Grab a chunk. And unlock the door for Sunny. Yeah, it's unlocked. Okay. Alrighty. Here we go. You want to start. Oh, oranges. Lori, I have that citrus olive oil cake. And I think I use oranges in that. But I've been juicing so much lately, you know, just making fresh juice. Do you have a citrus juicer? I mean, I just love fresh orange juice. Or I'll juice it and then you can freeze it. And then I use it for like vinaigrettes, sauces, other things. Okay, here we go. Let's fire it up, friends. We are going to move quickly. Now, the thing about the shallots, they cook a lot faster than other aromatics. And so you can put them in with cold oil and it's going to heat up and they're going to just start going and it's going to be great. Alrighty. I'm just kind of trying to clean a little bit more as I go here because I'm a hot mess and Sunny's going to come help me clean up because she said, what can I do as a friend when you're in so much pain? And I said to her, it's kind of cranky, I said, I'm tired of people telling me how to fix it because it's not like a one-size-fits-all kind of illness thing. So I don't need my friends to fix it. I just need them to understand that when I crawl into a hole and don't come out, it's nothing against them. And also, I'm like, I just need help with the daily tasks of like keeping up with my house, you know? So she offered to come help me with the dishes. She's such love. Because obviously, if I could feel better or do anything that I knew of to feel better, I would, right? I've tried everything. And so I know people love me and they say, but have you tried this? Have you tried that? And it almost makes me feel stupid. It actually does make me feel stupid. Or like I'm not trying hard enough. And that is not the case. Freeze the juice. It's like drinking candy. God, it's so true. But Lauren, I feel like when at least you're drinking it with the pulp in it, it's so much better for you. Okay, you guys, the shallots are cooking so quickly that I'm going to add, let them soften for like another 30 seconds with another pinch of salt. And then I'm doing this one-handed because my hand is actually in the almond bag already. You're going to laugh when you see. It's already full of almonds, slivered almonds. Let's add some more. God, I love recipes that are this simple. It really can be this easy, you guys. Delicious food does not have to be complicated. Yummy, yummy. And healthy food can still be delicious. That's, I think, what I want people to know more than anything else. Food that's good for you can still taste good. Although I will say I had some of the best pizza of my life on these last 2 trips with my boys. There was nothing healthy about the way we were eating. So I'm very happy to be home and be back to my routines. We just want these nuts to get a little bit brown before I add the green beans, okay? They just add that extra flavor. And I'm going to drain my pasta water too, which has cooled down. burned yet? Let's find out. Because I walk away from the cooktop way too much. Never leave your food. Or be willing to take full responsibility for it. If you do. The shallots are what can burn kind of quickly, so those are what are browning. The nuts are barely toasted. But boy, is this a yummy mixture. Cook, cook, cook. Now, the green beans have a little bit of water on them. Yeah, everybody does need a sunny. You're not kidding, Lori. Sunny's sunny even when I'm cloudy, so it's good. They're going to give a little bit of kickback here. Not a lot. They've actually dried out. Tongs are probably the better tool here. We just want these beans to warm up, right? Now the shallots got a little too brown for my taste while the nuts were still in there, so I should have put the nuts in sooner. I probably could have put the nuts and the shallots in together. Look at how much lemon zest I used today. There's a theme here. Springtime. Citrus. Okay, now I'm going to cut the heat. And I'm just going to add a boatload of parsley. For some reason, I love flat leaf parsley on its own here in this recipe. Oops, still on. And then let's just add a squeeze of lemon juice from the same lemon that I was already using. I'm just going to twist it. And it's okay to put it directly on the area of the pan that doesn't have anything on it, because I'm kind of trying to like cook down the acid and mellow it out a little bit. Woo woo, yummy. Can you guys see all the yumminess in that pan? Really actually looks like the recipe in the cookbook. Okay, let me just take a bite. They're going to need salt. Ooh, hot, hot, hot. Just a little bit. Ta-da! So good, right? Let's put these in a bowl. I'm just going to put them in this big bowl and then, or this little bowl, because they're going to disappear in 5 minutes. My whole family, Charlie and Sonny, will eat these immediately. Okay. Now, the last but not least thing I'm going to do with you all is show you the fish, okay? So let's get this out of the way. And I'll put the green beans over here. Goodbye, beautiful beans. See you later. And bring the fish back. So if you're doing this at the table, if you're serving it at the table, you can see how beautiful it is. You can put it on a platter, right? Or if you have something pretty that you cooked it in, you could do exactly what I've done here. But the thing is, when you try to remove the bones from a fish like this, it's not the prettiest process, right? If you've ever had it done for you in a restaurant, you can tell that it's a lot of work to do it in front of a crowd. It's like carving a turkey. It's not exactly conducive to doing in front of the crowd. But here's what I want to show you. Oh, our 2-hour session limit is approaching. We'll be ending in 10 minutes. We can get it done. Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to kind of use my fork. And did you see how quickly that came off? That's when you know it's done. It just comes right off like that. Okay. So this will clear. The camera lens is going to grab it here in a second when it's off the bone. And I'm just, because it's cooked so beautifully, which again, it's not hard. It keeps it so much juicier and more tender when it's on the bone, right? I could have cooked it another 5 or 10 minutes and you'd still get this result. You just want to be able to flake it with a fork when it's coming out of the oven. And if it were still pink, if it were still, if it weren't cooked all the way, you wouldn't have this same result, okay? But what I want to show you is that when you do that and you take that off the bone like that, and then you actually can see what I'm talking about with underneath the cheek part, that there's so much fish and to capture. But look at what's going to happen. If you guys don't like whole animals, you can disregard what I'm about to do. Let me get the rest of the meat off that part too, okay? I'm going to lift it by the tail and look at this whole thing. Ta-da! Isn't that crazy? Oops! It just comes right out. And so you get all of the flavor of cooking with the bone without the bone. And then you have this whole other side that you've captured, right? And so that can just like flake right off too. And you can portion it out. So because it's not beautiful on its own, it's probably why trout almondine became such a big thing, right? Because you cover a plain looking piece, or sole meuniere, you cover a plain looking piece of fish with something to distract you, but you get the beautiful flavors of the fish by preparing it this simply, right? So I don't have to like show off a fish head for you guys, and I can take that away. But depending on where you go to eat or how you have it served, a lot of times they'll keep that on. Let me just get rid of it. Close your eyes if you don't like this, okay? Because I'm going to use my fingers. Boop, 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 boop. This would actually be perfect to use for fish stock. And there are some more little pin bones. They're just some bones that were like the end of it, right? So this is not a perfect process how I just showed you, but you can see what happens when you cook it on the bone, and then you capture all of the fish. And I would serve it on a plate and then drizzle a little bit of the sauce over it. But because we're running out of time, I'm going to take a big spoonful out of this. I won't make you look at it as I do it. You'll just see the reaction on my face. Let me get a spoon and see. Okay, and if anybody else has questions, right? But here we go. I'm going to get a little bit of the sauce. Hopefully I got all of the bones out of the piece I'm going for. Is that a bone? That's a bone. It's delicious. I've never been to Greece, but I feel like if I were in Greece right now and they served me this, I'd be very happy. You guys, delicious, delicious. Simple preparation, not expensive. Whole fish like this are more like $13.99 a pound. Some of them are even like $7.99 a pound. So probably 8 to 14 or 15 bucks a pound. Whereas good meat these days, you know, is like $15 to $25 a pound. So if you're wanting to do something special and you love fish, give it a try. Okay. I love cooking with you all. I love hanging out with all of you. I look forward to any of you joining me next weekend, next Sunday, for the Sunday school meal planning class. It's going to be a blast. So a week from tomorrow, I believe at 1 p.m. Pacific. Otherwise, I'll let you know what's next for House of Haas. And I'm just happy to be home for a while and get back to cooking with you all. So have a terrific rest of your weekend. And thanks for hanging out with me. I am eating the skin, Lori, but I like it. You certainly don't have to, and it should peel right off, okay? And that would be great. I owe you signed cookbooks, Lori, okay? Everybody have a terrific Sunday. Bye.